Hello, it's good to have you with us at this hour. I'm Daniel Che, here to provide you with the latest. President Park Geun-hye and her Mongolian counterpart Sakia Elbadorj sat down for talks on Sunday. They focused on denuclearizing North Korea and boosting bilateral trade and investment. Our Song Ji-sun starts us off.
As a nation with diplomatic relations with both Koreas, Mongolia can play an important role in Seoul's drive to denuclearize North Korea. At summit talks in Ulaanbaatar Sunday, President Park Geun-hye and her Mongolian counterpart reaffirmed their initiative for a nuclear-free Korean peninsula, vying to continue joint efforts for peace and stability in the region.
앞으로도 저는 지역 안정의 가장 큰 위협 요인이 되는 북한의 핵 개발 등 각종 도발에 대응해 나가는 데 있어서 몽골 측과 계속 긴밀히 협력해 나가고자 합니다.
The two countries have agreed to cooperate in denuclearizing the Korean peninsula and ensuring peace and security in the region. We will continue those efforts on the international stage and within the United Nations.
The two sides also took a step toward free trade. To further strip back trade barriers, the two leaders agreed to begin discussions for an economic partnership agreement, a pact similar to an FDA, which helps boost trade and investment. Seoul will also seek to take part in Mongolia's infrastructure projects, which are currently estimated to be worth $4.5 billion. The 14 projects include power plants, grid systems, and renewable energy development. Seoul will also share its telemedicine technologies to help Mongolians living in remote areas. President Park also vowed to expand cultural and people-to-people exchanges for a stronger bilateral relations going forward and to share Korea's experiences to contribute to Mongolia's development. Song Ji-sun, Arirang News, Ulaanbaatar.
As she does in any diplomacy tour, President Park included a meeting with South Koreans residing in the host nation. On Sunday, more than 70 of those who contributed to enhancing Korea's local image were invited to the event held at a hotel in Ulaanbaatar. After offering encouragement with a morale-boosting speech and promising to further enhance the government's consular services, she in turn asked them to continue their efforts to strengthen relations between the two countries. The president expressed faith that the passion, work ethic, and enterprising spirit of overseas Koreans will continue to be the driving force behind their home country's growth and stability. After crushing the attempted coup, Turkish authorities on the hunt for the conspirators have a clearer idea of who masterminded it all. As for the Korean nationals stranded at the Istanbul airport during the confusion, they return home safely. Oh Jung-hee tells us more.
110 Koreans who were stranded at Istanbul's Ataturk airport during this weekend's coup attempt in Turkey have made it safely back to Korea, landing at Incheon International Airport on Sunday morning. The Korean passengers who were stuck in the airport for around 10 hours recalled the situation as life-threatening.
I could hear the sounds of gunshots, bombs exploding, and warplanes flying by the airport. I was very perplexed and had no idea what to do.
I thought I was going to die. I could hear gunshots all over the place. Objects at the bar dropped to the floor, and people ran, screaming.
After the coup attempt fell apart on Saturday morning, regular flights from the airport resumed early Sunday. On flights between Turkey and Korea, airlines increased their seating capacities and waived additional charges for passengers who had to change their flight schedules. The coup attempt fell apart on Saturday morning as civilians took to the streets to publicly resist the rebelling military faction. The Turkish authorities rounded up about 3,000 alleged plotters, including soldiers, and detained another 3,000 judges across the country. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has accused US-based Muslim cleric Fethullah Gulen of being behind the takeover attempt and called on the US to extradite him to Turkey. Gulen has been repeatedly accused of trying to foment an uprising among his followers in the Turkish judiciary and the military.
After this coup attempt, once again I call on President Obama. I say, give this person in Pennsylvania to Turkey already. I call on the United States, if we are strategic partners, if we are model partners, please comply with your partner's request, because we give you every terrorist you wanted from us.
U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry said on the same day that his country had not yet received any request to extradite Gulen, but will assist in legitimate efforts to deal with the coup plotters. Oh Jung-hee, Arirang News.
Korean Prime Minister Hwang Kyo-ahn called on the government to ensure safety of Korean nationals traveling or living abroad. The Foreign Ministry's emergency response team in Nice were told to strengthen operations of emergency hotlines among Korean companies and organizations. And following the situation in Turkey, Hwang ordered the government to keep a watchful eye and advise Korean citizens to leave the region or cancel non-essential trips. The government also sent a rapid response team to Turkey, and they consist of a foreign ministry official and a police officer to guarantee the safety of Korean nationals still in the country. China and Russia have jointly adopted a strong statement against North Korea's nuclear ambitions. According to a South Korean Foreign Ministry official on Sunday, the statement issued by the Asia-Europe meeting, or ASEM, was carefully coordinated among the more than 50 member nations, including Pyongyang's two traditional allies. The statement condemned the regime's development of nuclear arms and called for full-scale implementation of the UNSC sanctions. This could help quell concerns over a possible obstacle to enforcing the resolutions caused by Beijing and Moscow's strong opposition to the deployment of the THAAD system to South Korea. As Korea celebrates the nation's Constitution Day, National Assembly Speaker Chung Se-kyun reiterated his call for a comprehensive revision of the Constitution. Speaking at an academic forum on Sunday to mark the 68th anniversary of the country's founding document, Chung said the 20th National Assembly must amend the Constitution to improve politics and present new visions for Korea. However, the ruling Saenuri Party's floor leader Chung Jin-seok said the matter needs to be approached with more caution. Such a move could divert attention from more urgent livelihood issues like economic revitalization. According to a recent survey conducted by Yonhap News on all National Assembly members, 8 in 10 support the revision. The race for the White House boils down to party conventions to officially nominate their candidates. Now more than ever, big names in politics need to be reminded to thank minority civic organizations actively engaged in voting campaigns. Our Park Ji-won sheds light on one Korean-American group that's been added since the 1990s.
A group of Korean-American students are approaching shoppers in Fort Lee, New Jersey, aiming to help them with voter registration. They are summer interns at a civic organization called Korean-American Civic Empowerment.
We just realized how not much of an impact our Korean Americans had in the politics, in the American politics. So we wanted to take an opportunity through our activities such as voters registration and kind of letting the Korean American community know about the U.S. politics and how we can get more involved.
Founded in New York in 1996, the organization has helped around 35,000 Korean Americans register to vote, as they believe voting is the most effective way to make the community's voice heard. Raising voter turnout is their main goal, among other things.
We want to significantly boost the voter turnout rate of the Korean American voters across the country.
Since 2014, the group has been holding an annual 3-day conference in Washington to reach more Korean Americans.
Every year, 500 Korean Americans from about 20 states, they join that conference and they discuss how we can improve our civic engagement.
There are about 100 Asian American civic organizations in the U.S. aiming to protect the civil rights of Asian ethnic minorities. Headquartered in New York, the Asian American Legal Defense and Education Fund is one of those organizations. An official says one of their most successful programs is their own Asian American exit poll.
We started this in 1988 to report out to the national media what the Asian American electorate looks like, how they're voting, and what issues are important to them. So hopefully we can be included in the conversation, and elected officials will start paying attention to our community. And hopefully that translates into our community receiving the assistance and the attention that it deserves.
Studies have shown that high minority voter turnout played a huge role in President Obama's win in the last 2 elections. That, coupled with forecasts that the 2016 electorate will be the most diverse in U.S. history, these minority groups' proactive civic and voting engagement campaigns could also become a big part in who takes the White House come November. Park Ji-won, Arirang News, Washington.
Let's turn our attention back to Mongolia now. Modern ties with Korea go back to long before diplomatic relations were officially established. It all started in the medical field. Connie Kim takes a look at Seoul's various medical exchanges with Ulaanbaatar, which continue to the present day.
Korea and Mongolia established diplomatic ties in 1990, but their first exchange dates back to 1914 when a Korean doctor arrived here, laying the foundation for future cooperation in the medical field. His hard work and dedication have not been forgotten at the Mongolian National University of Medical Sciences, where Korea's medical services are actively being implemented. This baby has come with rashes on his chest and arm, and the doctor gives a diagnosis of linear morphia.
As I told her, the dangerous things of linear morphia is to affect the growth of the arm.
Linear morphia is easily curable but can be fatal for babies.
His head sometimes tilts to one side. I heard there was a Korean doctor here, so I wanted to find out what was causing the problem.
Since signing a partnership agreement with a Korean medical school, Korean doctors have been coming here regularly to share technology and train local doctors, seeking to set up a similar medical system in Mongolia. Korea is also looking to expand exports of hambang, a traditional Korean medicine, to Mongolia. Acupuncture has been especially popular for locals, as patients say the effects are incomparable to any other treatment.
At first, I went to a Mongolian hospital for acupuncture, and I was hospitalized for 2 weeks. But I didn't feel any better. I heard there was a Korean doctor here, so I came for treatment.
There are many similarities between Korean and Mongolian Oriental clinics. Acupuncture for Mongolians is a good fit, and the herbal medicine is of a high quality, so the treatment at this clinic is very effective. After receiving treatment here, patients say they feel much better.
Since this clinic opened more than a decade ago, around 267,000 patients have come here for treatment. This figure includes repeat patients, but considering the population of Mongolia is only 3 million, it shows how in demand Oriental medicine is here. The Korean medical system is on stable ground in Mongolia, and doctors in the country say the task now is to bring in more Korean physicians regularly and bring in infrastructure to develop a long-term medical system fit for the country. Connie Kim, Arirang News, Ulaanbaatar.
A quick look at the weather before we go. Precipitation-free yet cloudy and damp conditions will continue in the early stages of the week in Korea, but nationwide showers are also in the forecast beginning Wednesday, so be ready for that. Seoul, Daegu, and Gwangju will all start the day at 21 degrees Celsius. Things will heat up to 30 in the capital and Daegu, 31 in Gwangju. Let's check out the weather conditions in other parts of the world. We've come to the end of this hour's newscast. As always, thank you for watching.